Today I'm going to be pretty direct. There's this moment, and it's a real challenging moment, where the unfaithful spouse comes clean and they're so relieved. They're out of the shadows. They've come out from under maybe 6 months, 6 years sometimes, or just this long period of time where they've been in an affair or in an addiction. And so it either becomes exposed or they come clean and they feel like this incredible weight has been lifted off their shoulders. But then there's the betrayed spouse where even if they've had suspicions like Samantha did for a year or so, maybe even longer, the fact that the affair has become a real issue and it's actually come out devastates them. So you've got two spouses in completely different places. The unfaithful spouse is like, oh gosh, man, I'm so happy it's come out. I don't have to live in hiding anymore. I don't have to live in shame anymore, and I'm free and I feel forgiven. And if they're a Christian, they're going to say, I feel forgiven by God. But then there's the betrayed spouse who has just found out their worst nightmare has happened and they're devastated and just their world has been turned upside down. And it's a very difficult place to be. If you've ever been there, it can crush you because you don't know how to navigate it. And so one of the things that is probably the biggest challenge is the betrayed spouse witnesses almost this sense of relief when they're not relieved. They've just had their world wrecked. And then the unfaithful spouse, if they're not careful, they start kind of spouting off some things that are the height of lunacy, which is, I'm forgiven by God, you need to forgive me. Or, well, it's out, and it's finally out, and now we can deal with it, and you just need to get on the healing train, and here we go. That's a true story. Someone said, you need to get on the healing train. It's just not that easy. The healing train hasn't even begun in the betrayed spouse. The anger, rage, confusion, trauma, remove your head from your body train has just arrived in the station of the betrayed spouse. And so I really want to try and help you. And here's a couple of things to remember. Number one, you, the unfaithful spouse, understand you probably feel great. You've come clean, or maybe it's been exposed, and while it hasn't been pleasant, at least it's out and you can deal with it and you feel like, I'm relieved. But your betrayed spouse is beside themselves. That's normal. It's absolutely normal. Don't say get over it. Don't say hurry up and heal. Whatever you do, don't say God has forgiven me, you should too. Please don't. It just is not going to help you, and it's certainly not going to help your spouse. Because what you're saying is, you need to forgive me and you have to forgive me, and if God in all His glory has forgiven me, why can't you? Incredibly self-righteous and completely callous. I said it, I know. So number one, it's normal to be in this scenario. Number two, the best thing that you can do, I mean literally the best thing to help you is to empathize with your betrayed spouse. It's to realize their pain is because of your choices. And while you may feel great that it's finally out and you may feel like this dark secret has been exposed, and man, that's awesome. But your betrayed spouse is traumatically devastated and you're not helping them. Am I saying for you, the unfaithful spouse, to stop celebrating the fact that you've come out and gotten it out in the open or it's been exposed? Yes, stop celebrating that. You're not going to be able to celebrate it with your betrayed spouse. It wounds them and it undermines them. Realize they're in pain because of what you've done. Also, realize one of the best things that you can do is you can take responsibility for the pain that you've inflicted upon them, because then it is not their pain per se, meaning you have created the pain, they didn't cause the pain. I'll say that again. Yeah, it's their pain, but what I mean is it's pain because of what you've done. They don't have to sit there and say, man, I did this to my marriage and I made this happen and oh my gosh, I caused this. No. The unfaithful spouse had an affair because of their dysfunction. We don't cause other people to do things. People make choices as adults. And so, to the unfaithful spouse, own it and embrace it and realize they're in incredible pain because of what you've done. Number 3, now is when you can celebrate it privately. I mean, have your moments. If you're a Christian, have your moments with God. If you're not a Christian, have your moments with yourself and take walks and embrace the fact that it's finally open and you've either come clean or it's been exposed and you don't have to live underneath the weight of this dark secret anymore. And tell yourself that you never want to live this way again and that you're willing to do whatever it takes to prevent relapse. Don't kid yourself. If it happened once, it can and will happen again unless you get the right kind of help. So I hope this helps you both, and I hope it creates a balance and a way of coping with that teeter-totter of, the unfaithful celebrates that it's out in the open, and the betrayed is like, I'm not celebrating at all. There's a way to get through it. There's a way to manage the chaos and trauma and come out on the other side. And I hope that helps you today.